Hello everyone, this is Anat Stanton. I hope you're having a fabulous day. I've just had a client leave and we've just had a coaching conversation in regard to the realisation of how much she was overthinking things. So are you one of those sorts of people who overthinks things and wondering how to just be your natural self inside of conversations? So one of the things that she was asking me was, what are some conversational tips? How do I keep a conversation going? And as we dug deeper into the what was really going on behind the scenes, I asked her questions like, if you're about to step up towards, into a group and that you want to have a conversation with, then what's going on in your mind even before you were, as you're walking over towards the group? So, for example, she was giving me examples of going networking and so forth. And she wanted to build her confidence in continuing conversations, right? And feeling confident to be able to speak to people. So one of the things that she said to me as she was walking over towards a group, she would be thinking about what types of things she could be speaking about. She would be wondering what was that group speaking about before her getting into the group. She was wondering how well she would be received, putting a lot of pressure on herself, which takes her out of being fully present. So what I mentioned to her was that, she's overthinking it, basically. Too much thinking going on versus just being in the moment and trusting that her body, what we call the body's intelligence, her body's intelligence was taking her towards that group. And just by being in the moment, and then I said, and then what would you do once you arrived? And she said, I would do what I naturally do, and that would be listen. Okay, great. So what type of listening do you do? And she said, well, I would listen to what everyone's saying, and then I'd be thinking about where can I come in, what could I say? And again, it was thinking too much. So I said, well, what about, I asked her about active listening and whether she knew what active listening was. And she said, no, not really. And I said, well, active listening is where you listen coming from nothing, where your mind has got nothing going on and you're truly tuning into your body's senses. So it's the gut feel, the intuition. And when you're in the moment, so active listening is being right there in a conversation, you're right there so present that it's like you're reliving that conversation with that person. And it's like the little nudges that go, tell me more about that. I hear you, right? So it could be a nod of the head. It's the eye contact. It's like you're slightly leaning forward and you're right there with that person. And they get that you're present with them. You're following them, right? So that's active listening. And then there's reflective listening where it's like, so what I'm hearing you say is, in that moment. So you're still there in the moment. But the thing is, you've got nothing going on that you need to strategize. You don't need to plan ahead. You don't need to focus on where's this going. You don't need to think about how can I help this person. Sure, that's going to come naturally when you're in the moment. And you will start to feel and think with all your whole body, with all your senses in your body, not just the mind. And that's where the real connection comes from. That's where if you're in a networking situation, you will really connect with that person at a human level. And that is where what we call being in a state of curiosity and wonder. And then the conversation and the relationship can naturally evolve from there. So I said, literally what she realized was that she was overthinking in every, angle, even before she walked up there, because she had all this stuff going on in her mind about, they obviously don't want me in this group. They obviously don't think that I'm good enough or know enough. So that was her stuff that she was playing in her mind, and we had to really bring that to the forefront and then work on her belief system around that, because it wasn't true. She was just making stuff up, as we all do, right? And then we live that out, which then takes you away from really being fully alive in the moment with another human being. And that's where real connection comes from. That's where, if you're in a situation of your own business or you're working for an organization where you connect with people and you have referrals and clients come from there as well. And you're working with people who you truly, connect with, and you enjoy their company because of that natural flowing conversation of two people being real and open and honest. And that's how it works. Now, so have a look at where you're coming from. And if you're overthinking, then it could be actually getting in the way of you just being your natural self. So if you want any support with that, give me a call, drop a line. If you have any queries, put a comment below, any questions, and I'd be happy to support you along the way so that you can be your full, whole, natural self in any situation, whether it's at work, whether it's at home, whether it's out with friends, colleagues. It doesn't really matter. It all works one and the same. Have a fabulous day. Thanks for connecting. We'll talk soon. Bye for now.